CEO of LetsGetWeddy. The idea came about very quickly. We're a wedding blog initially, and we just started talking about weddings for some reason. It seemed like an interesting space. I didn't think there was a lot of innovation in the market. So then we discovered that brides typically, well, show of hands, how many people are married here? And how many people have planned their own weddings? So a couple. Am I right to assume, because this is an assumption, that it's quite difficult to plan your wedding, finding the right suppliers and typically getting them all in the right place and knowing what price points that they have and what products that they offer. So effectively, that's what LetsGetWeddy's been set up for. So it's a marketplace, in theory, for brides to find suppliers. The idea is that people would sign up, so I'm not going to go through the sign up process. It's very simple. You put in your details. As a supplier, you also sign up. I'll quickly go to a supplier page. So let's just go to Discover. And this is the dashboard that you initially see. So when you sign up as a user, you'll then get your options. So you've got obviously multiple filters on the side, depending on what vertical you're looking for, photographer, videographer, cake baker, or whatever. You can have a quick snapshot, so you can look at the supplier and flip the card and see what they do. You'll also be able to see their price points, products. They'll also only show up if they are within the time period. So if you've got a wedding date on the 5th of November, if they've scheduled that they're busy on that date, they will not show up in the search. If I just do a quick deep dive, let's just click on this one. You'll just get a basic profile, a few images. You'll obviously get the social sharing buttons. You'll also be able to message them directly. So you click message, you'll be able to just message. It'll all be consolidated into a nice little inbox where you can kind of track what discussions were had. Was there any discussions about prices or colors, et cetera, et cetera. And then you could go slightly lower. You can see their availability. This is something we're kind of figuring whether we should or shouldn't show. This is something we could perhaps discuss today. Obviously multiple locations, so people can have multiple offices or showrooms or whatever they may have. You could obviously upload a lot more media. And in the future, we're going to also have a marketplace, so you can buy products directly, kind of Etsy, Amazon feel, I think. I can show you a bit more on the dashboard. So if I was just to go to the dashboard as a supplier, so that's my profile. If I was to go to my business and go to my dashboard. So this is, I'm pretending to be John Kruger. I'll go to the dashboard and you'll also be able to see a bit more statistics about who's coming to your profile. Typically, how are they finding you? What are they searching? We're measuring about 150 data points. So there's a lot of things that we can kind of filter down to, from time, location, budget, color choice, I guess. There's going to be multiple other variables. And that's effectively the product. We've got a lot of things. I mean, the roadmap is immense. I don't really want to get into that right now. But it's effectively a more simplified, more effective way to find a supplier. That's the idea. So we're trying to, think about bookings and schedules and a lot of appointment makings and testing food and looking at venues and that type of stuff. So there's going to be a lot more work that still needs to be done, but that's kind of the basic product that we have right now. Is that all right? Is that enough time?
That's fantastic. You just caught me off guard. I was still sending my tweet about you. Did you ask for specific feedback?
Suggestions, thoughts, opinions.
Okay, broad, open to the floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we are.
Yeah, I tried to get married last year, but I realized I didn't have the time to plan my wedding. So, and I've been to a few of these websites, and at the end, there's just so much information. Yeah. And even if you're filtering, it's just like a headache. I have a startup myself, so I decided not to get married. One thing that I think would be interesting is that the companies bid on my request and they present the proposals. Have you thought about that?
Sorry, can you repeat that? The companies bid?
If they can bid on, so I say what I need, and then I have a bidding process. I think that would diminish my searching costs.
That's a great question, and that's valid. There is an opportunity for us to do a reverse marketplace. So you tender, so you say, I'm a bride, I've got a £500 budget for a photographer, bid for my offering. Again, this is historically from another business that I ran. You get loads of bids, and then you get 5 companies that you like the look of that you choose, and then sometimes it doesn't work out. So this is just an alternative, it's an option, but there's absolutely room for that type of model. We can absolutely implement that, yeah.
Fab. At the back there. Some shoes, because I do a lot of walking.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like the idea. I get a little bit scared of the amount of information that I get. I thought, now I'm going to get married. I get all this information. What I'm missing a little bit is maybe the planner. Can you have somebody who just tell me, yeah, Johan, you need to have the flowers done by this. Just the timeline. Maybe just a template, but it could be a good idea to order your cake at this date. Here's good suppliers.
So that's one of the reasons why I brought this page up. So in the right top corner, it says coming soon plans. One of the ideas is that we're going to allow for that to happen. So hypothetical scenario, I'm too busy to plan my wedding. I need someone to do a lot of the research and the kind of legwork. Plans will also allow for collaboration. So if I've got a bridesmaid or a best man or someone that needs to help me, they will be able to effectively do a lot of the work. Does that touch upon your question, I guess? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can dig down on this a little bit later, maybe, sure. But just something that gives me a good idea of how long time this is going to take me, because many people have huge plans. Sure. But do they have the time? Again,
I think we've done over maybe 500 meetings and talks and discussions with brides. The ranges vary in terms of their planning dates. So some people are super, 24 months in advance. Some people are like 3 months. So it is plausible. There's no reason for us to say, one of the sign-up options is tell us your wedding date. And then we can send them very, soft reminders, notifications. You should be doing this and this week. And, next week, consider the following. Start looking at these types of suppliers. Yes, the answer is yes, we could do that. But there's a lot of options there.
There's been a lot of mention of brides. I think sometimes the grooms get involved as well. Not from my experience. Because, never mind. Is there a way that the bride or groom separately can go on this and then share the information of what they've found?
Yeah, it's boards, yeah.
Okay, so sorry if I missed that, I was tweeting.
Yeah, no, that's fine, I didn't go into it. The idea behind boards, and again, it's coming soon, is, so again, one of the things that we found through our research was a lot of people plan about their weddings through inspiration, magazines, Pinterest, and very visual aids, I guess. Boards is effectively a product which allows for people to do collaboration, to start kind of sharing ideas. Nothing's right or wrong, just going there and then saying, right, this is a board, I want to share it with my friend who's getting married. I want to wear this tux, or I want to wear these shoes, or can we factor in a budget for this holiday or whatever it may be. So that's the idea behind boards. It's still a bit fragmented. I'm sure we can improve it, but it's kind of that thing.
Hey, me again. Got to say, I like the concept of this. I got married last year, and we used about 15 Google Docs to do it, so I can appreciate how this might have been useful. Where were you last year? Basically, I wanted to say, echoing a few other people's comments about other parts of the planning. So you've got suppliers in there. I'm guessing the suppliers you've got on there have to have signed up to your service. You're not pulling them from the net. You're actually getting them to sign up, right? So you've got a challenge there in that you've got to get these suppliers to sign up on your service to actually get people to use them, right?
So you'd assume that. The reason why there's so many platforms out there is you can fall over a supplier. There's 35,000 suppliers in the UK, so the onboarding of a supplier isn't that difficult. Scraping data, you'll find a lot of inactive suppliers because a lot of them are hobbyists. They kind of sit in their bedrooms making invites and, but then you get the credible businesses. Is that me? So you do get, we call it the wannabe market, where they're trying to become suppliers, but they're really just people in their bedrooms. In answer to your question, go on, sorry.
Oh, no, so yeah, I was just wondering.
The planning, so let me tell you a bit about the roadmap, and I didn't want to go into this too much detail. Phase 1 is all about the suppliers and onboarding suppliers and giving them a platform where they can showcase their products. Phase 2 is very much about the bride and allowing them to start planning their wedding. So
or groom.
Sorry?
Or groom.
Or groom, exactly. And also about guests as well. If I'm a guest and I'm going to a friend's wedding, in theory, I should be able to go onto this platform and figure out, the logistics for the wedding. There's stuff like websites for couples. There's loads of little variables and little kind of segments that we can look into.
Yeah, so I guess that was the second thing I was going to say was you seem to be focusing a lot on the suppliers, but that's a fraction of the planning of a wedding, right? You've got everything else, like the timetable, the budget, the guest list, the seating plan, everything like that has got to be thought about too. So do you plan to integrate that kind of stuff as well?
Absolutely. So phase one is about the supplier. It's about onboarding the supplier, making sure that if there is a bride with a certain taste, she has that choice, as opposed to going to a dormant platform that hasn't got that supplier. That's the theory. We're figuring it out. We're fortunate that we're quite good at onboarding, and suppliers are two to a penny. Brides are also not very loyal. Brides, once they're married, they're no longer brides, so therefore they kind of move on. Their consumption of content and kind of where they get their research is immense. So what we want to do is start integrating with, offline platforms, exhibitions, magazines, whatever else they go. Brides will definitely become the focal point of phase two.
Okay, cool. I mean, as I said earlier, it looks like a great product. I really like the design of it, and obviously it's a massive market, so wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Very kind of you. Thanks.
Okay, one more question. Claude, I'm coming to you because I saw your hand go up.
I think the design is really impressive. The UX is probably a little bit confusing.
Clunky.
How many users do you have at the moment?
This is not launched. This is not live at the moment. Currently, we have if you go to the website now, it's a blog.
So my suggestion is you're probably over-engineering this MVP. I would get it out there because you've got something hugely functional already. Build traction, get lots of users on board because you're creating a two-sided marketplace, which is going to be hard.
Yep.
You're lucky, there are loads of suppliers who want business, but you're still going to have to get them as many as users. And I'd say stop trying to develop more features and try and get traction.
Yeah, we haven't developed any, you're right. We are literally about to push in a couple of weeks. It's about getting the right suppliers. It's onboarding those suppliers. It's also getting all the blogs on board, so that takes man hours. That's all it is. Tech-wise, yes, you're right. We've totally over-engineered it. Yeah, we've got a lot. Big number, yeah.
Fantastic. That's all we have time for. So big round of applause, please, for Let's Get Weddy.
Thank you.